Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. Well, as you may or may not know, in Texas, there's a battle for the governor's position. Wendy Davis is up against the Attorney General, Greg Abbott. And she might have somewhat of an advantage. If you recall, and if you watch some of my previous videos, I have said how ACORN remained underground between 2008 and 2012 for the presidential election. And what they would do is they would run around gathering names for people to vote. They would register voters. And they would do what they're doing in Texas. They would also obtain phone numbers, which happens to be illegal. They found that if a person registers to vote and isn't called, they're less likely to vote, versus a person that's registered to vote and they are called. There's a much higher percentage that they will vote. But again, it's against the law to obtain that kind of information specific to their phone numbers. Doesn't stop them from doing it, though. The other thing that I think they're going to do is what I believe happened in 2008. And what I think happened in 2008, in Obama's case, ACORN remained underground. And they would gather all this pertinent information. If you watch my previous videos, I've made mention of this quite often. And they would send away from the voter rolls, they would obtain absentee ballots. They would fill out the candidates of their choice for president and from whoever else, senator, congressman, elected representatives, principals, judges, whomever. And they would submit those. And they knew that half the people wouldn't even bother going, so they would have those 50% of the votes automatically. The other half would go to vote, and they'd be turned away and told they've already voted absentee. Half of those would leave. You'd have 25% left over, and those would demand that they be given a right to vote, and they would be given a provisional ballot. Provisional ballots don't get counted for 10 days, so they're totally worthless. That's how they did it in 2008. That's how they did it in 2004. Fraudulent votes. There's an African-American lady that's serving 5 years in federal prison because she worked at a polling station and she got caught having voted multiple times for Obama, for both herself, for her granddaughter, and for a couple of her neighbors. She just said, I wanted Obama to win. And if you monitored what was going on during that election, there were a number of cases where Democrats were caught for fraudulent voting. But he's in. In either case, the same kind of a thing is happening right now, I believe, in Texas. They're obtaining voter registration information, they're obtaining phone numbers, which once again is illegal. And they're going to go get the voters' rolls, they're going to request absentee ballots, they're going to monitor the mails, which again is illegal. They're going to remove the information specific to absentee ballots, they're going to fill it out with the candidate of their choice, they're going to submit it. That's how they rule. That's exactly how they won. And that's what they're going to continue to do. And that's why, unless photo ID is a requirement, and unless absentee ballots are notarized, there's no point in voting. Obama knows that. And that's why I don't think he's overly concerned about the midterms. They're going to do the same thing for the midterms as they've done for all previous elections. Our votes don't count. What should happen is what happens in other countries like Afghanistan and Iraq. Little bottle of ink. That's what should happen. You get to vote one time, you stick your thumb into the ink, your ink's on your thumb, you can't vote. As far as absentee ballots are concerned, forget about it, unless they're notarized. And even then, you got to be careful because they could have fraudulent people pretending to be notary publics. So, the voting system is a complete mess. And electronic voting, forget that. That's completely insane. So, what do you think is going to happen in Texas? Well, right now, if things aren't checked, Wendy Davis will be the next governor. And Hillary Clinton, if she runs, if Obama doesn't stay in power, she'll be the next president. Your vote is totally useless based on the way the system's set up and been taken advantage of. Pretty sad, is it not? But that's where we're at, folks. Like it or not, that's where we're at.